Okay, I got another problem here from 11.5. It's number 14 on page 679 and has to do with this guy, Richard, buying a condominium for $199,000, obtaining a 25-year loan at a rate of 8.25%. And we're asked three questions concerning this situation. What is the mortgage payment? What's the total amount of payments over the life of the loan? And how much of that is interest? So first, we want to calculate that mortgage payment. And the mortgage payment, remember, is just nothing more than the monthly payment formula that we've been using in previous sections, which we know as this lovely formula here. And we have all the information we need, right? We have the amount is $199,000. The rate is given to us as 8.25%. It's a monthly payment. So remember, N is always 12 in these cases, and T is 25 years. Be careful with that negative exponent there. I've often forgotten about that myself, but it's a negative exponent there. So when we fill in the numbers, we get the amount of the loan. And remember how we did this in the calculator? We took R over N and we store that to a letter A. We'll go through this one more time on the calculator here in a minute. And then we take that value of A, we add 1 to it and raise it to the exponent of negative NT, store that to the letter B, and then we have this nice simple ratio in order to calculate our monthly payment, just being careful with parentheses. So let's go to our calculator here. All right, there's our calculator. And remember, like we just said, we're going to take that rate of 0.0825 and divide that by 12. And it's 12 monthly payment. We get a value. We store that to the letter A. And remember, every time we hit A now, we're going to get that value. Now we're going to take that letter A, that value, and add 1 to it and raise to the negative 300. That's going to be our B. We store that to B. Every time we hit B, we get that value. All right, so just to review what we just did, we took this ratio, we stored it to the letter A. This is A, we added 1 to it and took that number and raised it to an exponent of negative 300. We stored that to the letter B. So now all we have to do to get the monthly payment is multiply the amount of the loan by this ratio. That's what we're going to do now. So we get 199,000, and we're going to multiply in parentheses numerator letter A. Then we're going to divide and put the denominator also in parentheses of 1 minus B. Close the parentheses on the denominator, close the parentheses on the entire fraction, and we get our monthly payment of, let's round it to $1,569 to the nearest dollar. All right, so that is how we calculate the monthly payment, right? Using our monthly payment formula, that's the mortgage payment. It's a monthly payment. We plug the values in, we carefully calculate those numbers and come up with our monthly payment. So now the question is, how much do we end up paying after 25 years? Well, that 300 is the number of payments, right? 25 years, 12 months in a year, 300 payments. So the total amount of payments is going to be 300 payments of $1,569. So we put that into our calculator. And we say 300 payments of $1,569 gives us $470,000. Holy Toledo. And 700. So now we say, well, how much money did we just throw out the window? Well, that's going to be the difference between the total amount you paid and the cost, the original cost, right? So how much is the interest? The interest is going to be the total amount minus the original cost. So 470,700 minus 199,000. We can kind of see what that's going to be, right? If this was 200,000, it would be 270,000. So it's one more than that, for $271,700. So the lesson here is try not to go into debt. Try not to buy things on interest because you're throwing away a lot of money, right? You buy a $199,000 condominium. You make these payments. If it takes you all 25 years to pay off the loan, you're actually paying $470,000, of which $271,700 is interest. So there you go. Good times.